Hello and welcome to Team SI's Midday Roast. With me today I have Whitney Burgess, Senior Account Executive here at Team SI, and I think for the first time, is that correct?
That's right.
We've got Tanner Ward, also a Senior Account Executive with us. Tanner works heavily in the automotive sector, and anyway, so to jump right into it, today we're going to be discussing YouTube marketing, both advertising and marketing, the do's and don'ts, how to correctly market yourself on YouTube, and the true digital effect. So first I want to remind everybody, ourselves included, to go on to Facebook Live, our Facebook live stream, which you can find on our Facebook page. And let's see, let's find that. I didn't have it pulled up all right. So anyway, so we're going to go to Team SI. We're going to share our feed, and I hope you'll do the same. We're live, and please, if you've got any questions as we kind of go through our content here, let us know, leave it in the comments, and we will answer accordingly. All right, so kind of jumping right into our discussion today. A lot of people, when they first think about, putting up some, YouTube videos to help market themselves, they think, okay, if the video is good enough, people will find it. Mm-hmm. Whitney, is that true?
Not really. So the idea with YouTube is to understand that it's a search engine. It's actually, and you were just talking about this, it's the second largest search engine. So right behind Google is YouTube, and people are looking for information, heavily how-to videos, a lot of tutorials, and so a lot of the videos that people are really watching aren't always the high-quality broadcast, advertising videos. A lot of it are people in front of their computers, people on their iPhones, and they're sharing their stories and kind of just talking through different processes or teaching how to do things. So it's more about what's the quality of the content as opposed to the quality of the video.
Right. Great point. And I think one thing that we've been hearing a lot from some folks we've been talking to when they first kind of start talking to us about creating some YouTube content is the idea of, well, all right, so this is the information that I want to share with my customers or to get more customers. This is how I'm going to put it together. This is the title. This is the tag. And one of the common mistakes they make is they're thinking about what they want to tell the customer, but not what the customer is actually looking for when they go into a search engine or into YouTube. Tanner, you have a great example of how to think from the mindset of the searcher first, and later, thinking about what we're actually going to tell that customer.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so like Whitney said, YouTube is the second largest search engine that's out there, and it's so closely connected with Google because it is owned by Google that YouTube search results are also going to show up when you just do a Google search. And so one of the clients that I work with is the Steve Landers Auto Group, and so we've had some success with some different how-to videos, specifically about Jeeps. So we know a lot of Jeep owners. There's a bunch of different stuff you can do with your Jeeps. You can take the tops off, you can take the doors off. There's all kinds of different add-ons that you can put on, different uses for different parts of the vehicle. So a lot of people are actively searching for, how do I do these different things, or how can I use my Jeep in this certain way. So I think it was about 3 or 4 years ago we actually put together a couple of videos. One of them was how to take the top off of your Jeep, how to take the doors off of your Jeep, how to disconnect everything that needs to be disconnected before you can do all that stuff. And so one of our most popular ones was how to take the top off of your Jeep.
Yeah.
And so it's really simple. It's maybe a 3 to 4 minute video, and it's just it's not super high quality video, but it's just a guy showing you how to remove this latch, remove that latch, take this piece off, take that piece off, and then you've got the whole top of it off. And if you were to do a Google search today for how to take the top off of your Jeep, that's still the #1 search result that comes up just on Google itself. So that's the type of content that people are looking for, the type of content that people want to see.
And which is amazing that is the number one returning video for that piece of information. I can imagine a lot of people are searching for how to take the top off your Jeep. If I were to buy a Jeep, that's the
Do we know
first thing.
how many views it is?
Yeah, do we know how many views?
That particular video has about 500,000 views.
Wow.
And then all total, all of our how-to videos that we published have just over 1 million views.
And that was mostly all organic, right? That's just
there
people
was no,
looking.
no paid search at all.
Wow. So, and it wasn't just uploading the video and titling it. There was a little bit more kind of technical know-how, kind of applying some SEO techniques to that video, correct?
Yeah. So whenever you upload a video, you have, of course, your title, you have your description, but then you have some keywords that you can put in there. So obviously, title is what people are going to see first. That's what's going to make them click on the video. So you want to make sure that the title is something, nowadays we're typing questions into search engines, or we're asking Siri or whoever questions on how do I do this, how do I do that, where's the closest whatever. So your title, you want it to reflect what people are searching. So we had simply how to take the hard top off of your Jeep. So then in the description, you want to make that, some people are going to read the description, some people are just going to go straight to the video, but you want to go ahead and have a good description that's going to tell exactly what's in the video. In our case, we're a Jeep dealership, so we also wanted to include some information about how to look at our Jeep inventory, information about where our dealership was located and stuff like that. So you want to include all of that info in the description, anything that people are going to want to know. And then also make sure you include a link that's going to go back to your website. Because the video is just one part. You want people to take action on the video afterwards. So while people may be just learning how to take the top off of their Jeep, well, maybe at some point they're ready to trade their Jeep in for a new one, or they're just looking at Jeeps, and so they want to see where maybe they could buy one.
Or maybe they are going to want a service.
Service or parts or anything like that. So you want people want not only to get to your video, but then also to go to your website where you can convert them into a customer. So you've got your title, your description, then you've also got some keywords. So these are going to be things that people might be searching for, or popular phrases, popular terms that are related to your industry. So you want to put all that info in there. And then even like playlists, you can create different playlists and do the same thing, title, description, keywords, that type of stuff with the playlist.
So like the next auto roll video of yours on your channel, once they hit that, is
Right.
Cool.
Well, it's really interesting to think about it. So going back to the mindset of a person who's using YouTube, they're not necessarily looking to buy a car that day or a Jeep. They're looking for, how do I take the top off my Jeep? So you got to understand kind of that mentality of where they are. It's important that we build that brand loyalty by making the playlist that that Tanner's talking about, and having that as a resource, because one, for the SEO value, creates a backlinking strategy. And backlinking is when other sites link to your site, then that will help build up the authority, so your website will rank higher. So it helps build some credibility by creating more content. But it's also the idea of talking to potential customers and building some loyalty with them, because they're not ready to buy today. They may not be ready to service today, but they start seeing your brand out there and understanding that, one, they get to get an idea of what kind of people work with you, so they can kind of see some camaraderie there. Maybe they might ask for somebody who's in the video because they know kind of what to expect out of them. But it also, it helps your brand have a longer presence and not be so salesy.
Yeah.
It really puts a human element in there, because you're not trying to sell the Jeep at that moment. You're going through the discovery phase where people are just trying to learn more about their options.
Great point. So let's shift gears a little bit, and talk a little bit more about, so we've talked about, the organic marketing side of YouTube content creation. Let's talk about the paid media advertising aspect of YouTube, because I know a lot of my clients do really well with running YouTube ads, not only because they appear on YouTube.com or YouTube the app, whether it's on your TV or your phone, but also anywhere that YouTube videos are embedded or shown. So Whitney, tell us a little bit about the different ad units that YouTube offers for advertisers.
Great. So the big advantage with YouTube is that we can do programmatic buying. And programmatic means by identifying some audience points behavior, market, demographics, those basic things that we use for all of our advertising in the digital space. We're allowed to do that same kind of targeting on YouTube. We can also do different things like interest. For example, if someone's interested in Jeep videos, then we can make sure that our CDJR or Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram video shows up to that user, because they would be more likely to be interested in it. Because what we've learned about video is that it's extremely high engagement rate. It can also drive a lot of attention, but it has to, people only are upset about advertising if it's not relevant to them.
Right.
So programmatic allows us to provide more targeted and relevant ads to the right people. So we can do the ads that are skippable and non-skippable. We can also do, and those ads can then click through to your site, so we can kind of see that that video is driving traffic in. We can do retargeting, and so we can layer in people who saw this video and interacted with it. Then we feed them a second one to help build some more branding with that. So there's a lot of different video units that you can kind of play with there on that side. And
I don't think that most people realize when they're thinking about their YouTube ads that another one of the targeting parameters for YouTube is keywords. You know, a lot of people think, you know, SEM, or that's search engine marketing, or Google AdWords, search advertising. They think, you know, it's all about those, you know, ads above your search results. But the same type of keywords and targeting can also lead somebody to your YouTube video. Y'all are using that a lot in automotive, correct?
Yeah, so if you were, you know, if you're searching for a video on YouTube, I'm sure you've seen before, just like when you're doing a search engine search, you've got all your organic results, but you may have a paid result at the top, or you may have a paid video over to the side. So those are another avenue. People don't have to necessarily be. A lot of people think of pre-roll advertising as the only like type of YouTube advertising, where you watch a video but you get a commercial before. But you can also have those search results. So if people are searching for something similar, maybe you could have your video show up above a competitor or something like that.
Or like the overlay ads, which, you know, are most of the time, sometimes those annoying little tiles that come up while you're trying to watch your video. But you've got an opportunity for, you know, if somebody's watching a video about, you know, something related to a Jeep, and all of a sudden you've got, you know, some special financing offers to talk about for buying a Jeep at a local dealership. Well, now that's not so annoying and is quite relevant. So.
Right, absolutely.
So then let's talk about, we've talked about the, you know, paid media side, we've talked about kind of the organic marketing side, and I think what YouTube also does is create a great kind of introduction into what we at TMS I like to call the, you know, tradigital marketing mindset, or the tradigital strategy tactics. I just want to, you know, give an example. So I've got a client that works in like the home services, an HVAC, you know, air conditioning, heating client, and they, you know, are in a competitive media market. They don't have, you know, as big of a budget as some of their really big competitors, but they know that they've got to be on TV because, but they also know that they've got to be in digital, and they don't want to spread themselves too thin. They don't want to, you know, only focus on, you know, broadcast outside their service area. So, but one of the ways you can, you know, complement that is, you know, with like a small cable buy that might be, and then multiply it with a YouTube campaign or a Facebook video campaign, and all of a sudden they feel like they're seeing you everywhere just as much as, you know, if you were on broadcast all the time and cable all the time. Do y'all have any? What other tradigital experiences have y'all had with your clients as far as, you know, bridging that gap between, you know, TV and then the more programmatic side of digital video?
I've used it recently in healthcare, and so it's a very similar effect. It's that, how do you increase awareness and your reach so that more people are seeing you, you've got more frequency, and they start to see you everywhere, and it's all that aha moment of, oh, look, this person really is around, and so they start to get that kind of nice warm feeling about the brand. So with the healthcare client, we did the same thing. We complemented broadcast buy and cable buys on multiple channels, and then mirrored that with more targeted on digital as well. So that was on YouTube, and it was on other display networks, and because video can be used in multiple formats. So we're able to do that to where the right audience, so on broadcast where you can get really targeted, it's much more about being branding and kind of that much larger audience. On digital, we can mirror that with a much more targeted audience so that we can see kind of the relevant audience click through and engage with the brand.
Right, because it's all screen based, right? I mean, it's all about whether it's the TV screen or the phone screen or the computer screen, tablet, whatever. It's just all about being on our screens and.
Well, even streaming. I mean, now you can stream YouTube. I mean, like I just can watch YouTube videos on my television because I'll sync in with my Chromecast and watch that, and it's still going to play the advertising. So now I'm, that's also the screen is getting that, real digital effect.
And I think we're really rushing. Oh, do we have a question, Grace?
No, just kind of a comment. Talk about doing with the Jeep video. Talk about Evergreen videos. How repost it on different social media outlets and things, and that's going to bring more traction. And so, when I say Evergreen video, explain kind of what that is so people know what that means.
Yeah, I think Tanner, you've done a lot of work on that with the Evergreen video, and then taking it not just into YouTube, but sharing it through Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah, so you can create a video, and basically Evergreen means something that isn't necessarily just applicable now, but it's going to be relevant for a longer period of time. So, for example, these Jeep videos, they're not relevant just in spring of 2017. They're relevant, every spring, every summer. So that's the idea of an evergreen video. It's something that's not just going to be like a one-time use type of deal. So for YouTube, you've got your organic traffic. You can have people go to your channel and all that stuff, but you also want to make sure and you can take YouTube videos and share them on Facebook. You can share them on Twitter. And for the most part, whenever you share it, it'll autoplay you won't have to leave whatever website you're on. So if you're on Twitter, you can watch a YouTube video in Twitter. If you're on Facebook, you can watch your YouTube video right there without having to leave your page. It's still going to count as a view. At the end you can show up, different videos that you may also be interested in, something like that. So it is important to, just like with any social media, you want you want to be everywhere as much as you can. So it's a good idea definitely to post something on YouTube, also share it on Facebook, also share it on Twitter, share it on Google. Yeah,
you can post it on your blog pages and embed the video there. You can also look at it for ways to trim it down. You get it on Instagram, so maybe if it's a 3-minute video, trim it to a 30-second kind of introduction, and then you can have those on Instagram or Facebook and kind of drives that traffic. So it helps with there's more links out there of your content, so it's more authority from the SEO standpoint as well.
So there was some kind of, I thought, exciting news for people like myself and a lot of people who work here who are cord cutters. YouTube is launching its own kind of TV streaming service. That I was looking at the channel lineup and it looked pretty robust. Most everything I would want to watch. That's going to be another exciting opportunity for these kinds of pre-roll advertisements. A real programmatic,
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot in as far as the streaming industry is concerned. I mean, Netflix really changed the game after they took away, fill out this form, send us the CD, send it back. Once they switched to a streaming platform, we've seen that continue to grow. And people are willing to have the 30-second videos and watch that for the streaming without it limiting them. And so it's kind of like, that's not that big a deal, I can do that. And so really having that advantage to do some targeting is going to be really interesting to see how they're going to play into that. But yeah, I think it's huge for YouTube to be able to launch this. I know that they launched YouTube Red, and so I think that this is going to be in a more advanced application to kind of bring in more users.
Right, because YouTube Red was more of their own original content, or I think like some movies or TV shows that they had bought licenses for that you could watch in a streaming fashion. But this is going to be a true competitor, I think, to Sling TV or PlayStation View or even I guess Hulu.
Yeah, I think so. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, you'll be able to. I was looking this morning, so it's going to cost $35 a month, and they're kind of slowly rolling it out over the country. They're going to start in the bigger cities first.
Yeah.
But it's $35 a month, and I think right now they've got 40-something channels that you're going to be able to watch live. But as we get closer to the launch date, and once it starts rolling out more wide scale, then more channels will probably get picked up, more companies. But it's got all of your 4 networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox. So you'll be able to watch that live, and it's going to include the local programming too.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That is really cool.
Yeah, so you can watch your
Yeah.
News at 5 live on YouTube if you want to. But the cool thing about YouTube TV is that it's going to kind of be built into the existing platform a little bit. So, say you do a search on YouTube, you're going to be pulling up the different live options, but it's going to also be mixed in with your organic results and likely with your ads as well. So it's kind of it's going to bring more eyes to the searches, and you're going to have a chance to get your videos that you're publishing just organically on your channel to kind of be maybe mixed up in there with the live TV results.
Yeah, and live sports, which
Live
is
sports.
the end all be all of TV advertising these days.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
As I bump into things, I think it's going to be really interesting because as we are seeing more people pull away from like you said, the cord cutters, being able to be prepared for that, because it's not going to be something that's going to happen. Like, I don't see that by the end of 2017 there's going to be no value in a cable buy, but it's being prepared. So having a channel with a robust amount of content that is optimized and relates back to who your customer is, like you're building those playlists, you're going to have to be there, and it's going to be, you can't wait until cable drops off to build that channel up. So I think that that's going to be interesting to see how people engage with it, and also taking note that one thing that Tanner said earlier, YouTube is owned by Google.
Yeah.
So watch how that starts to connect with your, like when you're asking Alexa, when you're asking Siri, when you're doing all that, and notice what the playlist starts to look like in your search results on YouTube. Because all of those things are going to be connected from a keyword standpoint. So knowing that, those things can show up if you're asking Alexa, play a video for taking the top off my Jeep, that could be something that voice recognition for keywords is going to be super important.
Agreed.
Definitely.
Grace, any questions?
Nope, we just had a shout out from Thomas Becker. He said Pittman and Tanner are sharing their knowledge.
Ooh. Thanks, Thomas. Yeah. Thomas is a great client of ours.
Definitely.
And I think a personal friend of yours, right? Yeah, cool. All right, well, I think that about does it for TMSI's Midday Roast today. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for all the shares. And Thomas, again, thank you for the kind words. We will be back next week. Topic is to be determined, but we will have that soon. And thank you as always for tuning in. So have a great rest of your week. Thanks.